Thanks so much, Tawana. Well, it's Tuesday. We are talking health this morning with Greenwood LaFleur Hospital. Now, it's summertime, so your kids are definitely getting out and playing around. They're probably going to end up in one of the emergency clinics or whatnot. This morning, we're joined by Ms. Susan McGilvra. She is a certified nurse practitioner, pediatric nurse practitioner,
pediatric nurse practitioner,
which is actually, it goes with what we're talking about this morning.
Sure.
Hey, Ms. Susan, let me ask you a few questions this morning. As we're talking about kids and being healthy this summer, what is it that you guys see the most frequent visits for kids during the summer months?
Well, in the summer months, people aren't so sick like they are in the winter, and so we do a lot of preventive visits. And a lot of what we do, prevention is key, and so we do a lot of well visits. And at those visits, we don't just do shots. People come in all the time and say, I'm coming in to get my shots, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not all that we do. We're doing screenings, we're doing measurements, we're checking development. We're trying to determine if there's a disease that children have early, and unfortunately children don't have many diseases, but we really focus on prevention and making sure that everybody's staying well.
There's a lot we can do right now to make sure they stay healthy through the year, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Let me ask you this. What are some of the biggest questions that parents and even some of the kids give you during, when they come to visit?
Well, you know what the number one question is children have? We walk into a room and they will go,
does it hurt?
Do I have to have a shot today?
Yeah.
Do I have to have a shot today? But parents, this time of year we're talking a lot, and they have questions about rashes. We see so many rashes, and you've already mentioned mosquitoes, the Zika virus, and all that.
Absolutely.
And so prevention of mosquito bites is very, very important, and so that's one of the things that we talk to parents about. And so I just wanted to mention a few of those things to you.
Please. That was actually my follow-up. What are those things that parents need to be doing when it comes to Zika and being out in rashes?
Right. So the most important thing to do to prevent insect bites is to use repellents. One of the questions I get is, when can you start using repellents in children? And you can actually start at 2 months of age.
Really?
And you can use products that have 10% DEET in them, up to 30%.
Wow.
The big difference between repellents and sunscreens is that you only apply them once a day.
Gotcha.
And so when you're done with it and you're not being exposed any longer, then you wash it off with soap and water. But you can, with children, they have their hands and in their mouth, so don't put insect repellents on their hands.
That's a good tip.
You want to put it on thinly on their skin. You can put it on their clothes, but not underneath their clothing.
Okay.
And then
what about their legs? I mean, their arms, their legs.
Oh yeah, just any area that's exposed very thinly, but you don't want to put it on their little hands, or they're going to get it in their mouth and things like that.
No doubt, no doubt. What about when it comes to the sun and whatnot? I mean, is there, you said sunscreen? I mean, the same thing with hands too there?
Nope, you put it everywhere.
Okay.
But you can't start it until 6 months of age.
Okay.
Right? Before that, you want to use wide-brimmed hats, long sleeve pants, and shirts, and try to keep children in the shade and avoid the sun between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Gotcha. When it's the most hottest and all that. Hey, let me ask you this. You guys are having a children's health fair coming up this week, right?
Yes, we are.
When does
everybody to come.
Yes, absolutely. When does everything happen?
All right. It's going to be this Thursday and Friday. And Thursday we're going to have extended hours from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay.
Friday it's going to be from 8 until 5.
Okay.
All right. And so we're going to be doing some special things that day. We're trying to get our kindergarten kids in to get their well checks. You will need an appointment for that, and you would call 459-7030.
Okay.
And then we're trying to get the 7th graders in for their Tdap vaccine. You don't need an appointment for that. You can just walk in,
just come in and
which
get
is a great thing.
Absolutely.
And then one of the big things we do is give out immunization forms, the 121 forms here in Mississippi. We usually have a charge for those, but those 2 days you can come in and get them without charge.
That's fantastic.
And then the Children's Clinic also has a school-based wellness clinic, and you can sign up for that. Now that's just for Greenwood Public School and for LaFleur County.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So great time to go in and get those school immunizations taken care of.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, Ms. McGilvra, thank you so much for being with us this morning, giving us a little education. Any last tips to make sure that our kids are staying safe over the summer? Anything else we want to touch on?
Oh my goodness,
there's so many things I know.
There's so many things, but water safety is really important. And always children, train people to wear their seatbelts. Now that's not just for the summer, but that's all year long. But seatbelts, yeah.
So many good tips you got for us this morning.
Right.
Thanks so much for being here. Don't forget that children's clinic takes place this Thursday and Friday at Greenwood-LaFleur Hospital. If you'd like more information, glh.org. All your latest tips right there. Well, stay with us. Coming up after the break, we're finishing out in the kitchen with Ms. Dolores Stratezy. We'll be right back.
This Health Matters segment is brought to you by Greenwood-LaFleur Hospital.